this your boy Oscino Fly back with another review, and I should have been doing this a long time, but now I'm getting to it. We are reviewing Pose Season 3, the final season. Yes, this is the final season about the balls, which is now, it started in the late 80s, which is now like in the mid 90s now. And like I said, this is their third and final season, so this is basically their swan song. If you already see my earlier review of Pose, I think it's the best show on television right now. From what I've done seeing from now, it's definitely sealed itself as the best show on television. I personally did not think they was going to top season 2 because I thought season 2 was very well done. It proved me wrong in the first 2 episodes. Definitely proved me wrong. And then every episode it just kept proving me wrong. Billy Porter did a phenomenal. This was basically his season. Say what you want. Blanca getting a man was really cool. For some reason, I thought that her man was going to turn on him, but he didn't, thank God. Electra, when she had her episode, she definitely shined, as always. I would say, even though like they had an episode, Poppy and Angel, they had an episode together especially when they was getting married. They had a couple episodes. I don't want to say they was afterthoughts. I just didn't really care. I just didn't really care about it much. But it did have a big meaning, especially like what they was going through. Especially but like I said, I'm glad they nipped it in the butt because she was doing heroin in the first 2 episodes. And I was like, oh, they nipped it in the butt. So now they had this whole thing about is they even getting married? And Electra was like, I paid a lot of damn money. Y'all better get married and some shit like that. I don't want to say that was an afterthought, but that was the one I cared about the least. But it was good episodes, and it left a positive note on the episodes on there. But I do want to say this. Billy Porter, I know MJ Rodriguez just got nominated for an Emmy. Congratulations to her. She definitely did her thing, especially in the last 2 episodes. Especially talking about, the whole thing about them having I don't want to say cure, but the pills for people that have HIV. It was very heavily on the HIV, even though the first 2 seasons was talking about that. I know the first season was mostly about the ball, the second about the HIV epidemic and how that was really affecting them. They really kind of doubled down on the third one, and it did it. Like I said, it did its job. And people was talking. This one is more or less they was in this, especially in those last 2 episodes, just like this white boy who he was dying from HIV or AIDS. The next time we saw him, my man was jumping around, he was bouncing and all that other stuff. And then you realize there's this program, and it's one black person in there, and it was just oh, we gonna tell everybody, and y'all gonna have everybody in there. So they put Billy Pray Tell, and they put Blanca in there because they didn't want obviously. The doctors that she was seeing cared about Blanca a lot and did not want to see her die, so he put her on the program. They both was feeling well. It's spoilers. Billy Porter was definitely going through it because he was going blind and all that other stuff. So he went from going blind to being probably in the best shape of his life. But he had an episode where he was going home to go see his family and all that other stuff. I thought that was a sweet episode. You had, I would just call her Dee from the Wayans Brothers. That's what I remember her as. Anna Marie Horsford. You had Jack A. Harry, and you had Viv, Janet Hubert there. I thought that was a real good episode. I was like, okay, you seeing all these phenomenal black women actresses in there. This is good for them. I liked his episode of him going home and then trying to get some reconciliation for his past and all that other stuff. I like that episode. The episode before last, I loved that one too. Especially where it was just and I knew it was happening. I just didn't know how. But when he was sitting there after he did the whole video show at the ball, where I think they was doing Diana Ross. I think that was Diana Ross. I'm assuming it was Diana Ross. Correct me on what song they was doing. It was Billy Porter, it was Pray Tell, and it was Blanca. They was doing Diana Ross. And then in this room, you could see him. He was just turning off the candles and all that stuff. That's he. Spoilers. He dies. That one made me sad because if y'all don't know, Pray Tell was my favorite character, and I thought he was definitely. And like I said, I thought he definitely brought it this season. And like seeing them go, I almost shed a tear. I'm not gonna lie. Like I almost cried, but I held it together because I'm a thug like that. And then you find out that he gave Ricky his pills, and I was like, oh man, that is real. Like that's some sacrificial shit right there. Like it was sad. And then the last episode, I think it ended greatly. You can see Blanca with these new. She's like a grandmother now, and I think Ricky's doing the house stuff, and like she's still at the ball, but like they're doing house stuff. They got these new evangelists. I thought that was cool. I'm glad Blanca didn't die, but I think she like that whole last episode where she got her. She was able to become a nurse. She was doing good stuff. She was getting better, and she was still going to the balls because the balls kind of represent where they was from. I like the fact that nothing bad. I'm not gonna lie. I like the fact that nothing bad happened in none of these episodes, except for Billy Porter dying. I mean, except for Pray Tell dying, but everything else is like it left off a happy ending. To me that was a phenomenal way to end that season. But I do feel like it did leave off to say, well, maybe if I do come back, maybe there's another season. But I feel like if this was the way they was going to end this season, that's the way you should have ended it, right there. You don't need to go no further. I know a lot of people are saying that this show is going off, but like I tell everybody, I think some of the best shows are short. It told a story, now you gotta move on. The Wire, like my favorite shows still today, The Wire. The Wire told a story in 5 seasons, and then it moved on. You don't see them adding on. Some, like Empire, even though I think it could have they probably was trying to go for 2 more seasons, Empire told this story, then it moved the fuck on. Even though like that shit was like the last episode was kind of bullshit. But for the people that was sad to see it go, be happy that it happened. Be happy that you saw probably one of the best writings on TV, period. Like I don't know any other show that's gonna top it. And like I said, if it doesn't win an Emmy, it's a problem. So overall, if you have not seen Pose, go watch Pose. And like it's like if you're into that thing, I'll be honest. Like I wouldn't be into this type of thing, but the writing has dragged me, like but the writing has definitely brought me into the show, and I stayed for the whole entire thing, and I end up loving it. So I think if anybody has not seen Pose, go watch Pose. It's probably one of the best shows that's on TV, especially in this generation. This is probably this generation's The Wire, and that's saying a lot. Maybe even more because Pose has won an Emmy. And Wire didn't. But overall, go see The Wire. And for those that haven't seen the Pose, I'm sorry, go see Pose. I'm messing up everywhere. Go see Pose. And if you haven't seen Pose, what are you waiting on? Go see it. It's definitely a good show. If you are comfortable enough, and I'm gonna say this, if you are comfortable enough with yourself that you can watch this and don't feel no type of way, go ahead and watch the show. But those that have watched the show, let me know what y'all think. What was your favorite episode? Who was your favorite character? Pray Tell, to me it was Pray Tell, but Electra, definitely, she was.
Into the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
Oh, Alexa. But Electra definitely, every time she was on the screen, she was a show stealer, like as she should be. So if you are definitely a fan of Pose, go watch it. If you're not, go watch it. Let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Oscino and I'm out. Peace.
Fancy ass man wear glove of rings, flying around town in a tub of wings. Found out how to make love to fiends. He mixing that fudge with the drug of dreams. She too teenage to have a drug of choice, but she fuck with that Royce like she love Detroit. She rollin'.
Pharaoh.